America. Good morning. Good morning. Pittsburgh, hello. Florida, Texas, Philadelphia, Connecticut, Australia, Holland, Switzerland. Good morning, friends. Good morning. We are the 10 right here. Thank you for waking up. Yeah, thank you for waking up with Michael and you. Hey, wow. Okay. Overnight this, overnight that. Every day a new beginning, but always the same. SHIT, right? It is. It is. I'm Michael Anthony. Just so you know, thanks. I understand it's Best Friend Day. Best Friends Day. Interesting enough, huh? Okay, so it's Best Friends Day. I lost all mine. No, not truly. I made many, and you were right here. You were the people that watch and support, share, follow, subscribe, and whatnot. And I didn't throw that in there for any narrative. Maybe not. I don't know. Here comes the professional side of what I can't do when I even want to, and it just slips out. Anyway, Best Friends Day. Really? Honestly, I can only say this. I've lost so many. I really, really have. I mean, I had like 600 people on my normal friends list, Facebook kind of thing, and they just didn't care for me. Yes, so-called best friends, right? Right? Hey, federal employees, check this out. And this is going off on a different narrative, but this is extremely disappointing to me when you really think about it. I know people who work within the federal governments. These people are all working from home. Or are they? I see them out jogging. I do it. I mean, I'm out. I see them at like times that like would be like, are you supposed to be at home working? Are you allowed 24 hours 7 as long as you put in so many hours a day? I don't know. Are they really doing the job for us? Are they really representing the areas of their expertise for us? What is going on? Why aren't they called back into their offices? I mean, hello, we got to get up, get dressed, go out, and they say go back to work. If you don't go back to work, we're going to stop, your unemployment and all this stuff. They're not leaving, and at this, I understand. I understand that we're in a new place with technology and whatnot. But when I see them outside playing, granted, everybody needs to have family time with their kids. But Monday through Friday, what are they getting done? I would love to see what their job details are. Maybe we should all have one of these $100,000 jobs where you sit at home all day and play with your kids. I don't know. I'm just saying. I'm not trying to be disrespectful here. It just seems very, very, very odd on how much free time they have. How much time do they need to do their job? Are they full-time employees? Should they be full-time employees? It makes you think. It makes you think. Okay, I'm getting buzzed off to death here. Who could be wanting me now? And it can't be anything important, I wouldn't think. Please stand by. I got deep there. That's just old. That's old voice talking. That's old voice talking. Yeah, I don't know. Just it's weird to me when I see things like this out there and about going on. Uh, And that Best Friends Day thing, I don't know who makes up this shit. I mean, we have Donut Day, we have Pot Day for. Well, that's been coming for years, right? But no, seriously, how many hours a day are they working? It's just unreal. I don't know what goes on behind their closed doors. I don't know who's monitoring these people. It doesn't seem fair to us. It doesn't seem right. And I think, honestly, that they need to get their asses back to work. I think people that hold government and federal jobs need to be in the offices. No playtime. No playtime. I feel there's time for everything else. But, when you are, and hey, police, if they work from behind the computer, what will we get done, right? I mean, you get my point, right? Where is this? Why is all this? But yet we have it. Is it because we're still, not at 100% and some of these blue states where I am at full capacity yet? I mean, could that be it? I don't know. I mean, did they not get their vaccination? Maybe that's the interesting narrative to it all. It could be. It could be. Because, we're never right. We're never right on our side. Anyway, good morning, everybody. Let's get into some things here. I don't know if you're going to like hang with me on some of where my mindset is today, but I put the plate with the head out there. I, I'm going somewhere with that. I'm sorry. That's what I do. I'm going to go with that. Strong. Yes, we are strong. I bring that up because I see things. Not I just thank you for all my friends, 650 some that are out there, plus all the group people and the somewhat into the thousands who through a week participate and watching the 10 o'clock talks and the waking up segments that I do in the mornings now due to work and whatnot. But yeah, I understand people are tired and they're weak and they have the same questions I have. They have the same questions you have in many ways. And this is where we're at. You know, I can only say this to them. I am a friend to every one of you. This page, this everything that I do is because of your voice. I only verbalize it. I get it. I know where you're at. I can only say stay strong, be optimistic. There could be something of much greater understanding that we can, really have capabilities in our mind to totally understand. I bring up the interest of how wars are played out. I don't know. I mean, it's all over the board, and we all know that. But our freedoms and our strengths. I come back to this because people ask me about it. I spoke really, really a lot on this and a couple other early segments, which you can find on YouTube or maybe off my page here. There's a lot of things that are in my page, but they do delete them as they go. So if you really want the history, the library of 10 o'clock talks, YouTube would probably be the place for you to go and, subscribe and check into there and do whatever you want. And no cost ever, totally nonprofit. Anything that does get spent comes out of, the pocket right here to keep coming to you and giving, you guys support and strength. So I'm asking you guys for it back. Hang in there just a little bit longer. Hang in there a little bit longer. I think we're coming to a light. I think we're coming to a peak. We're not at it. And it's not going to be tomorrow or a week. Get prepared to buckle down for 3-4 months. I really believe that. And be prepared. Be a prepper. Do some things that are going to help you out. Extra canned goods, things just in case. Can always go camping and use them if I'm totally wrong here. But if I am, there's a lot of us wrong here. There really is. Anyway, freedoms and strengths. And what that has to do with, and what came back up to me is people of colors. So many of us, and beautiful in so many ways, and the racial colors. People with different beautiful looks. I mean, say what it is. Say what the truth is here. All cultures are great. I get along with them all. They fought side by side in wars for us. They stood for America. In many ways, and I do take my hats off to people of color. You were some of our strongest out there that we had for us, with us, in these wars and narratives of the governments. And you can only thank them. You really can. I mean, side by side, it wasn't about colors. It was all for one and one for all, and let's fight till we win. And many died for it. People of all colors died. We have cemeteries that label that and show that. So why I go this way is because of the questions I was asked. Were there things done wrong in America? Sure. There still are right now. I mean, come on. There's slavery right now. Right now. We're living in it. It has nothing to do with a particular color. It is definitely an issue, though. And if you want to choose a color, maybe we could call the government a new color. Because it's their narrative. It's what they live. These satanic, you know where I'm going with that comment. But it's the truth. There's so many people of colors and cultures that have all done for everybody, even in and out of America, who stood up for what's right, what's wrong, even if they were fed lies to do it. What's the fix to me? What's the fix? Okay, it's pretty freaking simple. The fix is a table. It's It's all it takes is a table, some chairs. We sit down, we conversate, just like I am with you right now, and believe that is true, and that is the fact. Because the problem is not us, the people, with each other. It's the narrative of our government. I stressed this to you before. I'm sorry you missed it, and don't like to rehash a lot, real often. But when you get hit with it 4 or 5 times in a week over a couple of weeks, it seems like it's an important address to some people. And I'm for everybody out there. We have mixed cultures in our families now. Don't think we don't understand this. We do. If you're trying to climb aboard and to what we talk about here at 10 o'clock talks, this is why I'm saying this to you. Just keep an open mind, friends. Don't be so harsh. Because if you really think this out logically, and you have a mind, you're one of us. You'll figure this out with me right here, right now, and I doubt you'll bring it back up. But all it takes is a table for us to sit down, because we're truly not the enemy. It's the narratives that's the enemy that's in your minds, and you need to dislabel it, avoid it. You need to wake up every day, make your bed, get out of bed, take a deep breath, put a smile on your face, kick up some music, have a cup of coffee, whatever it takes, a Pepsi, whatever. Don't support Coke. Anyway, but still, you get where I'm coming from. And it's how you will choose to live that day. America had always, before this time, had an open door policy to come in and make the best of anything that you could. The door was open to you. If you chose to sit at home, that was nobody's fault but your own. If you chose to get out and make something of yourself, you had better things. Better things were here for you. It was all about the ethic. And it still is about that ethic. No one's denied anybody. We, in our lifetimes, did nothing wrong to nobody. But there are people in this lifetime who do things wrong to people. And still slavery. Amazing, but true. We're not in that time, and we're not in that place. Validation is everything when you hear it coming out of Donald J. Trump's mouth. That. Let's come in as friends, leave as friends. Let's figure it out. Let's see what makes things better. Because there are things that need addressed. But we got to leave the negative out of it. We got to look at the future and how the future works best for everybody involved, not for anybody left behind. If you're left behind, it's because you're not standing up strong enough to come into the future with us, because it's all here for you. Even though in this tough time, it is still here for every one of us. It doesn't make any difference upon color. Please understand that. And I say that from the heart. I really do. It's sad to see comments come up like this a lot to me, but it's an important topic. It just is. It's very important for everybody. So I get it. I truly get it. But this is what's called making America great again, when we can sit at this table. Okay? Because you're in a fight with us, and we'll fight with you as long as you fight with us, because we must fight always one together to correct these narratives. And I hear you, and I think that's what you need to understand. Nobody's against anybody in America. We're all together right now. We're looking for each other and strength. We have a bigger issue here that needs to be taken care of, which will correct much of the issues that I'm addressing right now even. So yeah, all together at a table would work without a doubt. The issues aren't us. It's the politicians. It's the governments. It's the many wrongs done to humanity. And I know you know where I'm going with that comment. I just want to be a little careful here. But we are the patriots, and we can fix this without them. We do not need governments of negativity in our lives. We just don't need them there. Again, that talks about my heads on a platter. And it may come in all colors, but they're guilty as sin of many things. And what needs to be saved in America? What are the real slavery and racial issues? Well, it's not us as people. It truly isn't. It's the negative, it's the narrative, it's the satanic, it's the HST, it's the HT, it's the CT. I mean, come on. These issues are huge, and numbers that people must wake up on, and maybe you haven't all the way. Missing 411. And then there's every single one of us. Because why? Every single one of us can be part of that system if we're not careful, you know? So I'll leave it at that. I think I covered a lot of what was asked me to be covered. So um, you feel free to leave comments. I'll try to make responses back through them and whatnot. Stores across America, big names closing. Yeah. Is that part of what's really going on? Or is it part of the banks? Is it part of the economy of where we are right now and the corporate heads that are just running off hiding? Makes you wonder. It does make you wonder. But that's what's going on. Many more big names are popping up in the last few days, going out of business. Well, goodbye to you then. There's a song like that. Goodbye to you. Ooh, something. I know there is. And it's weird how words can flow and how people can be creative with them. Yeah, so all I can tell you is stay in this fight. Stay in this fight in big ways. If we lose these corporations, we're probably not losing a friend, okay? That's not where we are in this world. The big corporate dollar follows the dollar. Doesn't matter which side of the railroad tracks, whether you're on the left, whether you're on the right, whether you're in the middle, it doesn't matter. If you're a halfway or you don't know which way to go, you're just blind, and you're probably never going to wake up. The truth of the matter is, though, we have other issues big at hand here. Like, hey, why don't we expose everything in this laptop? And in these laptops, like Nancy's that went MIA, and we know Hunter's is out there, and why are we suppressing that one? It's in our hands. Mr. Giuliani, release that information. Release it. The public wants it out there. Yes, they do. Texas Abbott. That's what I call him. All right, Governor Abbott in Texas to arrest and jail border crossers. Rock stardom, and that's the way it should be. And every state should be doing that. Every state, as soon as they get off those planes, check these people out, take them back somewhere. I don't know where. Figure it out. Figure it out. We need to get our National Guard more involved in our states. Of course, the blue states aren't going to give us any help there. We're going to probably get swamped and bombarded with a lot of this bullshit that they're pushing for the illegals. But that's how it works. Then we got Sheriff, what's his name? Pizzine? Soros man. Let's call him Sheriff Soros man. I understand he's being held in contempt of court. Yeah, for a lot of his deep shit and more ways than one, and more offices than one, and more positions than one. $2 million bribe, kickbacks, setups through the Clinton Foundation. And yeah, why not? Rock the vote. Do you remember that? The beginning of the narrative here of Rock the Vote. Yeah. Maricopa, that's all I'm going to say. But hey, so it seems like the sheriff's going to get arrested. That's great news, Go get that boy. Go get him. Yeah. All right. Legislation was also involved on Rock the Vote. So just keep that in mind. It's ours, it's theirs, it's where they wanted us to be. Guilty of sin on everything that they pushed, and this is how we're going to entrap these people here, by keeping the pressure on them. Like I said, heads on a platter. Heads on a platter is what will do it for us here, and we need some type of pushback. We definitely need that pushback. All right, but I want you to understand, legislation was also involved on that. That's a big portion, so that's telling you how corrupt the government is, because they were all involved on that. This was a pre-setup from years ago on everything that we just went through in November 3rd and 4th of 2020. It's all the narrative, and that's why Trump knew it in plenty of time and had worries about it. And of course, he didn't lie to anybody about it. He knew it. He let us know that he did know. There are some things he lets us know. There are. All right, then you got Stormy Daniels. Wow, check that out. She's leaking out that her attorneys are now in touch with deep state prosecutors that are trying to chase down Trump and, of course, create their own narrative. They see his push forward, they're going to push back, and let's let it all fall again. So where will we be with that? All I could say is whoop the FE, right? Whoop the FE. Bring it on. I think he's strong enough, and the people around him are strong enough to handle you. And to me, she's just another added target. Put the head on the plate, the platter, whatever you want to call it. So 2022. I want to give you an analogy that I came up with because 2024, Trump's not really, and even Joe said, yeah, I'll run in 2024. Right. Dead or alive, right? Okay. I'll just say it that way. But no, 2022. So maybe he really does have a plan here that will be executed that we just don't see yet. 2022 is even too long with what we're going through. Okay? We see it worldwide, globally, the issue of it all. And it's just much too long to wait. But let's say that is on the burner. Let's just say it's not coming out right now because, in war, you don't give away all your next moves. You just wouldn't do that. But if we are to keep fighting for these seats, getting people elected where we need them to be, us as people fighting in this fight with everybody of the good who is doing their part already somewhere else secretly, okay? Weigh that in your mind for a moment. And 2022 comes around, a little wish before, and Trump does say, I'm going to go after Pelosi's seat. Well, there's a win-win, right? Because by then, I'm sure all the election fraud and everything else is going to come out. It's going to spill guts everywhere. States are going to come down. We're already going to know he's a winner. But if we are faced with, we still have this fight with the deep state, and we haven't eliminated it yet. They can't eliminate it all yet. Then, again, we can sit back in the house of glory. And I'll tell you why. If Trump runs for this, the first thing he's going to do if he wins, and which he would win, we would make sure he won, would we not? He's going to impeach Biden and Harris, and then we are going to be in control of the seats. And then President Trump walks right back into the presidency. Just an analogy. It would work. It's real. It could happen. And it seems much more plausible. That said, that's my viewpoint here. We can stay with me. Gets more interesting. Curveballs. Dates, Trump. Elections, Trump. Positions, Trump. Impeachments, Trump. Led by Trump. It's another way right back into the White House. We're not dead in the water here, even though it seems like we are. But we're not. We're not. Georgia. Issues of the votes. New votes. It's coming out. We need to just hold hard and tight. I say this to the people who right now are in that place. A disparity, dismay. I don't get it. Because we don't always even get it. But clarity is in the understanding. Clarity comes to people who think. Clarity comes to people a few abilities to be able to think. Not everybody would give you the narrative I just gave you, but it's a true factual one. It's a true factual one. It could very well be the plan. It could very well just be a curveball being thrown at the left right now. And they're going to isolate the thought, and maybe I'm saying too much here. Maybe the wrong person will see this, that he's coming back in 2024 and we're going to block him. They may not be thinking about the plan of how it could work in 2022. I doubt that, though. These think tanks are very capable, and they're going to fight us every bit of the way. They will. Okay. So Georgia's votes, it's coming out. It's going to come out hard. Same with Arizona, New Hampshire. Everybody's jumping in. Pennsylvania, everybody's trying to fight the fight right now, including on the guns up in here in Pennsylvania. We're in a better spot right now. We really are. And that's because we stand together. But the thing you got to love is in Guatemala, Kamala goes in there and with much signage. What a welcome map for this bitch, right? All right, so she goes down, and the first thing she's seeing is Trump won. Go home. I mean, as leaders of this other land, what was the message directed towards her? They did nothing to prevent it. They allowed their citizens to have freedom of speech and thought. And that's just rock stardom. That's rock stardom. And it's funny as hell, but it's serious as hell. And I hope she gets a clear message that most of the world are as much against her as this New World Order wannabes who are out there, pushing this total narrative in our face. But it's true, it's just crazy. And I think she was met with humiliation, without a doubt. I mean, to have to look at these things where she was in this land. But they're rock stars. They did it. She had to suck it up and even be told, get your mask, you're going to need it. So I just thought I'd put that out there. I know it's been out for a couple days, but I finally caught up to watching a couple narratives of how it went on, the messages that were put out, the signs that were there. And I just found it to be very humorous, but true. Because some people just need to be put in place, like a head on a platter. We have very artistic people in this world. I'm sure they could come up with cakes and things and, whatever, and line the Capitol steps with their heads on platters and let them know what we really think of these people, and we're in this for the long haul. And let's change this fear factor. I'll get more to that. I'll get a little bit more deeper into that. But that's just where I'm at with it. And by the way, Camilla, Trump won. Okay. By the way, she still has been a no-show at the border. Yeah, that is what we call leadership in America. Where years ago against Trump, she went on and made every filthy remark she could about everything negative that she could find and not even find, and false truths that she came up with on where we were at the border. And we see where the security of the border went and what happened and the fight on the wall and whatnot. She's an embarrassment. She's not going to go there, She's just putting people and heads in place. Like I said, heads on the platter. She's just putting people in place to do her bidding. And she's looking worse and worse every day from doing it. There's no leadership on her side. There just isn't. There's none on Joe's. There's none on hers. There's none in the circle of the idiots up there or in Nancy land. It just doesn't exist. Their narratives they're still staying strong with, and they're going to stay in their fight for a while longer. And that's why I tell you, prepare, prepare, prepare. Anything is possible. Anything is possible. And repeatedly now, the cyber attacks. We're hearing this. We're hearing that. Russia, Russia, Russia. Da-da-da-da-da-da. And if you want to know who's really controlling America, it's probably pretty much China, to be honest with you. Okay? Because they're puppets. And it's not even from the top. But it's the narrative of the money and the operatives. And I'm sure it's China pushing most of the buttons for America. And that's why Putin just laughs. That's why Putin's laughing. And America has stood up strong to China. There's things that you don't know. There's things I don't bring up. I probably should get into more deeper state events and things that I do know that have taken place on the good of this big major fight. And I probably will. Shortly, I'll come up with something. It'll be in my head. I'll write something out. I'll give you some descriptions of things that I definitely know have occurred around the world in this total fight that we're in and where we're at. But again, placement of a date and time, it just doesn't exist at this point. It's not really there. The hypothetical thought of what I gave you of the 2022 narrative for Trump, it's just my thought and ideology of where I see things with clarity. That is a clarity scenario. And that's what we need to keep in mind. Because right now we don't have anything of direct clarity. And not even from President Trump. We don't get it. So keep 2022 in mind. And I'm telling you, I don't even think we should need to tolerate or withstand to that date. I don't think. It just doesn't. It's not good. It's not good. Any time like tomorrow is better. But if we're in it for the long haul, and if that would be the way we would go, again, just if you didn't hear me clear enough, go back, hit rewind, whatever you do, scroll the little dot over a little bit and rehash my last words on that part. It means a lot. It means a lot. But there's a lot more I could give you if you want to know what's going on around the world and and there is much. I mean, how, I'll say this much to you. How at the same depth in many, many areas globally are there these tremors? It's because they're caving in all the duns and all these areas of negativity and all these deep state tunnels that were created and bored, and with this nuclear device machine that could bore through rock forever and ever. And they had them down there making all these tunnels and pathways. And we know you can go, I've said this for months and months. You can go across from California to New York in a heartbeat through these underground tunnels. Certain truck king divisions were allowed to use them. And were they doing biddings and government work? Maybe in some ways, but they were also they were pass riders to do what they needed to do to keep things on a low level of special transportations. So yeah, but again, I'm not saying that they're getting rid of all of them, but I am saying they have, and they have been. These explosions being somewhat said as earthquakes, okay, at least being told what you do get. They're not. These are the methods of destruction, to seal and collapse and, and a lot of what we know down there, seal them, water them off. In some cases, they're near volcanoes, and they're actually allowing doing implosions just to create the lava flow to come out and disrupt the whole pathways through them and let the flow of the lava do the job. It depends upon where they're at, what they're closest to, whether it's the Potomac River or whether it's near Hawaii, and they use that little loophole of narrative to help them seal it by using lava. And we're even hearing now that the sea level was lowering, and we're getting sea springs. So there's something major, and this is not in any way having anything to do with nature itself on Earth. We know they're all at the very similar depths, within like a 2-foot radius. And these things are all just happening. Earthquakes across the globe? Come on. It's bigger than that. They're at work. They're hard at work. It's just a big, big, big picture. Okay, let's move on from that. All right, 20 states jumping up now and also joining in the XL pipeline lawsuits. And it's actually more than 20, but it's coming back out because I know dates are getting closer. So just keep some higher expectation here. It's a fight against, of course, the corrupt of the Biden administration and the circle idiots up there. But they're going to fight back, and they're taking it to the courts. So it's over 20 states now. And as President Trump said, it was near 45 or 48,000 jobs related. I spoke of this months ago about when it first came out, when Biden took over, one of his first executive orders is stop on this project, of course. Yeah, so you know about all that stuff. So let's see where this goes. Maybe the people of America will fight hard enough, and it seems that they have. They have a lot in place. We know what happened was just a narrative, and it's going to cost them more to get this all going again. It's going to cost your tax dollar unless we take it from the stimulus dollars they haven't spent. It's just one of those things that. It's going to be out here. We can hope for the best. It would be great to see 48,000 people get back to work and to give us back, what it takes for us to make America great again, where we are independent people with independent resources. And this is our push. This is where we're going. And I did mention about some of these resources and what they're doing too. The beef prices, be prepared, are going to go through the roof. These cyber attacks, I still don't believe that they're have any credible information on them, but the narrative now of Bitcoin being used and so forth to pay people off. I mean, they're throwing us everywhere. They're throwing us all over the pie plate, and it's like you can't cut a clean slice of pie. It's like you're a mess maker, and when you're looking at the thing, it's just all falling apart, and you would be embarrassed to give anybody a piece of it. It looks so bad, okay? Well, that's how they are with the look so bad thing, where you and I, people of good thought, morals, we cut those clean pieces and hand them out, because that's the proper way to take care of things and to give to people, as a comparable. if you got what I was trying to say there anyway. But the DOD also throws out a little, hey, we will not fly any pride flags. Hey, I'm not going to tell you what to do. You take your own, make your own choices down there in your divisions of your law enforcement agency, but I'm all with you. I'm not saying that people don't deserve it. I'm saying there's a table we can sit at and figure out how this should all work with ethics and morals. And that's the thing. And I love these words because they're the most simplified way to say them. We have to stop, the narrative of the push. And us is the people of the voice. The people who they work for us, but they don't work for us. We need to put these things in place for them. We need to enlighten them in a stronger movement. And I'm hoping that's where I can get you guys to understand, put these heads on a platter. Take them up there and line them up. Somebody can dupe all them faces out, right? And let them know. We don't fear you. You better damn well fear us. I hope you enjoy that narrative because that's how I feel about it. That's what I feel and see about it. And that's the narrative I want to push with you. Fight back. Don't give up. Don't give in. Fight back. We're all here together to do it and give support and lend support to each other. Is anybody aware of Michael Flynn's brother? Yeah, you remember Michael Flynn. He's the most horrible person to that side of the government. They did everything to try to kill his life, his career, and whatnot, speaking out for us. Well, anyway, his brother Charles took over the U.S. Army Pacific. Imagine that. Wow. Deep state. Joe's president. But his brother now is a military commander on the U.S. Army Pacific. I told you there was a dual presidency. I told you Joe don't have no power with the military. This is a prime example of that. They would not appoint him. Keep that in mind. There's more to this, but we can have hope and we can have faith in different ways. And that's why I brought up the 2022 example with this example. It gives you proof of things that are occurring. As I explained to you, the tunnels and everything. These are true factors. And we cannot forget when we know truth is working for us. Yes, do we need proof? It's out there. We just have to accept where it is and know how to use it to open up our minds, to understand a narrative of where the good is pushing from. And I think I just gave that to you in a couple ways. So keep that in mind. They would never have General Flynn back in there or his brother, would they? But he is. Excuse me. And that's the truth. But here he is. Here he is. So, yeah, bite that apple. More Dems are going Republican. I did not vote for you. I brought this up several times. I'm going to do it again. 3 more just flipped, okay? They're coming over. No need for names and the information, but it happened. I assure you, it happened, okay? And then you have the media across, the board, all losing its audiences and its ratings, and they're plummeting. So you're doing your job. We have military promotions going on of people you would never imagine getting in. There are things occurring. Believe in it. Believe in it. Okay, Twitter removes a tweet from a Nigerian president. So the Nigerian president, good guy that he is, I'm assuming, sounds like he's wonderful actually. He handed Twitter an ultimatum. You take me off, then we stop you from operating in our country. It's all about the buck. When you stop the buck, maybe they wake up. So here you have an independent country out there saying, go F yourself. You're out of here. And that's how you stand up for this. America, that's how you stand up for their country. That's how you stand up for the ethics of the world. And my hat's off to this guy, this president down there. Good job. Good job. Healthcare and the jab and the adverse reactions. They don't report on everything. They just don't. They want to pacify it and keep pressing this issue. And did you know that Fauci was paid some serious money for a book? Yeah. He claimed, though, in a comment, well, I'm not going to make any profits. Well, he will. So he donates off the back end. There's a check on the front end. Don't know the number yet, waiting to hear that. But they followed him around during this pandemic and did a book on him. Yeah, yeah, yeah. But none of this is going to get put into the book of what we know now in the emails and more. Yeah, the lies won't be in there. They want to just present his rock stardom. Like Como. He got $5 million up front. Plus he gets money off the back end. Millions of dollars. It's incredibly sad. You know, you would never see it. You would never get it. And lo and behold, if you jaywalk down the streets, you remember jaywalking? I don't even know if that crime exists anymore, but maybe it does. They would probably use it against anybody if it was a narrative to get you. But yeah, so just weird shit, right? Just really weird. So he got all this money, and he can't even show his face in public. He's the most wanted man in Washington, with now coming very shortly, you will see that will be put a push to Gates as well. And we'll see where that goes. Yeah, we'll see where that goes. To me, I think we should call this Fauci's Book on Lies. I don't know what the true title is, but I know it's coming out. I know it's in the works. I know he's been paid off handsomely, just like Como, who will not and does not want to use his own money to defend himself while he is governor, with his issues going on legally on crimes on humanity, as I'm sure will be slapped upon his face within the next 12 months, as well as many other governors. Everything takes time, but it will happen. We will have our day. It may not be tomorrow, but we will have our day. Okay. The CIA basically is run by the one world government. Okay? And that's what they're called. Did you know by chance? I don't know if some of you knew this. We knew that Hillary was involved in uranium, and she was, she would back, the low-level people with military and arms and guns and the things that you're not allowed to have. But put them in the hands of where they have a narrative or someone that they control. That's good, like the heroin industry. Yeah, she was probably one of the biggest heroin dealers in America's history. Yeah, your representative. Yeah, the ones that voted for her, the ones that wanted her. Yes, I say it unequivocally and with clarity. Heroin dealer. And we know it. We know it. They were all involved on it. It was anything about the buck. How do you get into office and wake up, America? We're here, right? I know we are. This is that whole fight. This is why we are where we are. This is why they are where they are. And since they love blood and satanic and books of the dark, let's serve up those heads on a platter. Let's truly think about that. Once I said, let's do billboards across America. You want to know the truth of the matter is that worked. Some people, whether they heard me or not, it got out there. It happened. I seen pictures of these billboards. It had faces, their faces like we do on our posts on Facebook, and they were there with their little crimes and mentionings of them. So the next time you want to go to Washington and you want to put a rally together and you don't invite me, I'll be upset. Okay? Start carrying these heads and place them up on the Capitol steps. That'll get your point across. That'll get your point across. Because we will not give up. We will not give up. I'm not telling anybody to go cut heads. That's not what I'm telling you. But when you place those heads up there, you'll embarrass the hell out of them, for one. They'll know that we're not going to give up. They'll know that we're going to stay in this fight till the end. And they have no choice. They have no choice but to fall down, give in, and walk off. The easiest part that I could say to any of these people would be, walk out, resign. Because if you don't, we're going to be there for you, and you will suffer for it. But, the head on a platter thing, I'm really starting to even like more as I think and talk about it. Yeah, change that narrative. Put it in their face, right? But the PA gun folks, I do want to bring this back up real quick. I think it's number... I have a little memo down here. I looked down. I have a cheat sheet, of course. I didn't write it all down. It was something 659. Constitutional gun and carry law, and vote yes. So, yeah, please support that, everybody in PA, Pittsburgh especially, all the neighbors out there. I appreciate you for that part. Yeah. So this stops now. This stops now, in my mind. But you, America, you must speak and stand together and support the strengths of each other because we need each other. Speak for your vote. Stay strong in this push that we have going on. Speak for your health, schools, and your children for their safeties to support the truth. Speak against the violences. Speak against the travel passports. Speak against the corruption. Speak against the human trafficking. Speak, speak loud. Join in. Show up. Stand out. We must make bolder statements. We must. We must live bolder lifestyles. We must get out there and grassroots and work and push and enforce a narrative against them. I don't know if it's a time to be kind to anybody, but to be true would be for you to speak freely, and you should. We asked China for $10 trillion, but yet our government stands with them. Yeah, our own government stands with them, unaddressed. Stimulus after stimulus, you get breadcrumbs, and the possibility of some more breadcrumbs might trickle to you for only to support their own agenda, for your approval. We'll give you $500. Just help us get this approved. We're thinking of you. Yeah, thinking of us, thinking of the billions going to other leaderships in other countries, and the illegals getting our freedoms. And why are we not asking for these people in positions for our justice? Where is our justice? Or do we not have justice? Why are we not seeking our success? Don't give up in this. We found these lies. We've exposed these lies. We know the truth. When will we stand in front of them and call them out? This is the heads on the platter right there. This is corruption that has to be seen. It is seen. You see it. I see it. It's everywhere. It is a platter, and we can expose who they are and embarrass them to the world and let their media report on that. I guarantee you that doesn't make news. I guarantee it. This guy does a beer commercial like that, isn't there? I don't know. I didn't get it from him. It came to mind after. Yeah, we the people need the protections. We, the people, need these protections now. We're all in risk in ways. There's no cure. Nothing has happened. Nothing's happened for the safety in the future for the children of this world, and that's our big fight. That's my big fight. And of course, for the women. I care deeply for them and there's the sensitivity and their strengths. They're rock stardom. Men, we can get by. We don't need any support. We need not mention. We just don't. That's how it is. But the truth is, we need to protect these. Women and children must always come first. I can only say to you, if we could just do that, we're all creative. We're all special in America. We need a statement, a strong statement. We need to find one. My objective is heads on platters. And they're not even deserving of platters. But let's throw this satanic back to the satanic and let them know we will stand. And the dark is the dark against them, or the light is the light. And we will defeat them. You patriots are needed now and more than ever. Share your voice to the people that need the support. Stand by their side. We're in a time of need. People do not see an end. And in ways I don't. But it doesn't mean that I cannot put two and two together to create what I feel are good narratives of positivity of where, in ways, with things we may go. I want you to consider that 2022 thing for the last time here. And I don't want and no, should it go that long without a dot? No. Yesterday was even too long ago to cure this element of what we're living in. But if it has to go to 2022, it would be a building block. There would be a big block of control of the Republican Party and a clean out of the GOP rhinos on the way doing it. And if Trump did stand back in and took over the seat, well then, you would have a whole different disruption of impeachment going on. And that, with success, would put President Trump right back in 2022. You cancel out the bad, you bring in the good. Keep that ideology of a narrative in your mind of positivity. Keep it as positivity. We would wake them all up. And again, if we could only do what I tell you, we would put them in fear. We got to act now. We got to come up with a stronger plan and better resources. And we need to get out there and do the footwork to do it. But I think we can do it. I really believe we can do it. And let that be our pandemic. Payback. Thanks. I'm Michael Anthony. I had a great time this morning with you guys. I don't always have the best things to say. I'm not always the most cheerful. But I don't try to be. I try to give an overview, a narrative. I hope you can agree with some of it, And this is waking up with me. I hope you have great plans today. I know we got some sunshine outside this morning. Really muggy. It's like the tropics. Well, yeah, keep cloaking the sky and letting the sun bake us in. It creates like a microwave effect on here in the lower stratosphere of the upper stratosphere reflects off. Of course, heat releases above us. But meanwhile, that cloak that they create, and all the harmful things in there. And now they're adding plastics to it as well as Teflon. And, because they lost their narrative of where they were going. That's good moves on the military part. The militaries of the world who are fighting back for us and helping to make all these corrections. But it's logical, and it's true. So here you have this cloak, okay? Just say it's a blanket, and they're spraying, the planes are going around, and all of a sudden the lines are all mystifying and getting pretty equal. The sun's baking on this element of it, okay, in ways. And then the reflectants kick off the sun. Well, yeah, are they blocking it? Yeah, but they're also trapping the air. When you trap the air, you get these high humidity and very sweltering atmosphere. They are recreating an atmosphere in an atmosphere. And we know if you go back into history, these things were mentioned that gold worked in sequences of being able to do this and protecting atmospheres and upper stratospheres and all this stuff. But so anyway, that's what we're going through right now here. I think we're at like 72% humidity. So I'm sure we'll get storms. And when you have this too, it also makes everything increasingly more violent. That's why I'm opposed to climate control. I've always been an advocate against it, and I think you should be too, because now we're hearing about a lot of eye infections, a lot of nasal bleeding and stuffiness, and things are going on that way. Is it the change and what they put in it? I don't know. I just want you to be aware of it, that people are having eye issues and nasal bleedings as well as stuffiness and some people were actually complaining about hard times breathing, and they're well. They're perfectly well. They've never been tested for anything. They didn't have any of these contaminated swabs stuck up in their nostril. Remember, they are contaminated swabs. Don't be stupid about going and get tested because you think you might have a fever. It's probably something you could just take care of yourself. Don't fall into that narrative. They are contaminated, cancer-causing, and they go up there and they rub it all into you, and it's a direct cancer-causing component. Okay? It's like you get a dab of this up somewhere like that. It's not good. It's not good. I've explained that to you. But anyway, so keep in mind, these things are now being more widely reported, but we're also being disengaged on good reports that we need to be told about that they're not telling us as well. And you know how the CDC works on that. They're 2 months behind, a month behind, whatever. So anyway, keep yourself safe. Keep healthy. Drink a lot of water. Do some food preparations, things. Food prep, anything could happen. They're going to create sweltering heats. They're going to blame it. Well, now China runs the power grid. Pretty much that's what's going on, whether anybody really wants to face that reality. Don't know why it wasn't truly mentioned the other night, but that's okay. We are where we are. Blackouts, could they occur? Sure. Could they put us out for 10 days? They could possibly do that. This is why I want you to have your water, feminine wipes, all these things that are necessary to keep yourself with your essentials the best way you can. You don't need a lot. It wouldn't last forever. There would be a rescue plan. I guarantee you that. but they will use fear factors. And I do believe we're going to have to face a few of those before this is over. So stay strong, stay tuned. I will see you tomorrow. You guys are rock stars, Warrior to 10. I'm Michael Anthony. I thank you for all your, sharing and whatnot. Please continue to do so. I greatly appreciate it. Get the word out. Maybe someone will have some interest in what I have to say. Thanks so much.